They used to call me Crazy Joe, but now they can call me Batman.
Good morning. Welcome back to Crazy Joe's Concession Stand. I'm Crazy Joe. Today we have a review for you. I'm a little late on this review, and for that I apologize. It's been a busy week. But I'm going to review Harold and the Purple Crayon, which I saw about a week ago with my family. And let me tell you something. This movie is kind of bombing at the box office, which is a shame because it's a real crowd pleaser. If you look at the scores on CineScore, I always say there's this myth out there that if you get an A or above on CineScore, that you're going to do really well at the box office, and that if you get under an A, you're sunk. And it's total BS. I can't remember off the top of my head which movie it was, but there was one movie that was just like burning up the box office earlier this year that had something like a B-, and it was doing fantastic. And then you have something like Harold and the Purple Crayon, which has an A-. So if you believe the myth that, an A score on CinemaScore, that's your meal ticket. Clearly it's not, because this film is not performing well despite that A- CinemaScore. It's also got a verified user score on Rotten Tomato of like 92, which is insanely high. So the people who are going to see this movie are really digging it, but nobody is going to see it, which is unfortunate because it's quite good. I went and saw it with the family. It stars Zachary Levi, star of Chuck, one of my favorite TV shows of all time, and the Shazam movies, two of my favorite superhero movies of all time. And he plays Harold, a storybook character who has the ability to draw things with a purple crayon, and they become real. He's basically Green Lantern. He's Green Lantern with a crayon instead of a ring. Just like Green Lantern's ring can create anything he imagines, Harold can do it by drawing it with his crayon. Now, Green Lantern has long been one of my favorite superheroes. So the premise immediately has me, like, I saw the trailer and I'm like, this is Shazam meets Green Lantern. Two of my favorites. I am so in. And then you got a star like Zachary Levi. Zachary Levi, that guy's pure charisma. It's like, he's just likable. You just see him and you smile because he just is like, he was a guest on this channel once. Yeah, but he's just a great talent, and this premise of a crayon that can make things come to life. I mean, it's Green Lantern, like I said. It looked like a winning combo, and the trailer was hilarious. It was very, very funny trailer. I remember when that trailer came out, I showed it to the wife, I showed it to the kids. The whole family went nuts for it. So we went and saw it, and the premise is Harold is a storybook character who wants to come into the real world, and he draws with his purple crayon a door that says real world, and he's able to come into the real world. And he's looking for his creator, who he doesn't know his name, but we know, maybe you knew going in, his creator is an author who wrote the original book, Harold and the Purple Crayon, named Crockett Johnson, except Crockett Johnson passed away in 1975. So Harold does not know that his creator has passed, and he's going through the world trying to find his creator, unaware that his creator is no longer amongst us. He has a couple companions, including an actor named Lil Ray Howry. I never saw him before, as Moose. Moose is a moose in the storybook, but he becomes human when he transfers into the real world. And Tanya Reynolds as Porcupine, same thing. She's a porcupine in the book. When she comes into the real world, she becomes human. And then there's a love interest in Zooey Deschanel, and Zooey Deschanel has a son who they get involved with. And the whole cast is great. There is some pretty heavy product placement from Ollie's Bargain Warehouse, which is kind of odd. But I even noticed Ollie's Bargain Warehouse on Twitter was like tweeting out, go check out our big screen debut. So much like Mac and Me with their McDonald's, this film's got Ollie's Bargain Warehouse behind it. This is a fun movie. It's really funny. Jermaine Clement plays the villain, who is a failed fantasy writer. He writes like Lord of the Rings style epic novels in this fantasy realm that nobody cares about. And he wants the Purple Crayon so he could bring his fantasy world to life. And he's, you get the impression that maybe he's not a terrible guy. He just hasn't had success, and that's kind of turned him bitter. But he's not planning to use the crayon for good. So of course Harold and Moose and Porcupine need to stop him. Man, I really enjoyed this film. Whole family did. We laughed throughout the entire film, walked out with a big smile on our face. And I'll tell you, it's not often these days. It used to be a little more common. But it used to be somewhat common that you walk into a movie and they gave you like a little giveaway. Like I remember when I went to see There's Something About Mary, they gave me a little packet of hair gel. It said There's Something About Mary hair gel, which tied into the story and was incredibly inappropriate. But going in, I didn't even understand what it was. I'm like, hair gel? Why are you giving me hair gel? Then you watch the movie and you're like, oh my God, hair gel. And it said handcrafted by the Farrelly brothers. You saw the movie, you know what that means. But it's been a while since I've gotten something like that. But going into Harold and the Purple Crayon, they gave us these boxes filled with each box has 3 purple crayons in it. So I thought that was neat. Like, it's been a while since I got something like that. I remember when I went to Return of the Jedi, the special edition, you got a theater edition Luke action figure. Look at that. We got Harold purple crayons. I thought that was cute. So thank you to Regal Cinemas or Sony or whoever's responsible for the giveaway. I don't know if this came from Sony or Regal Cinemas, but I thought I've got that saved in my collection now. Maybe someday I'll pull it out and draw things that'll come to life. So yeah, this is a shame. It's a delightful little family film, and it's the audiences that have gone to see this have basically said in one big loud voice, "Hey, we dig this." You see it from the A Cinema score. You see it from the 92% verified audience score. This is definitely a film that's going to find its audience someday. Probably when it hits streaming. It's a Sony film, so it'll hit Netflix eventually. Like Ghostbusters is a Sony film that's on Netflix now, and Morbius and Madam Web. All these films found their audience. None of those films, Ghostbusters was a little bit of a box office. They didn't do terrible, but Ghostbusters was a little bit of a box office disappointment. Madam Web was a bomb. Both films like shot to #1 on Netflix when they hit Netflix. And when you have a movie like Madam Web that was not as well received as Harold and the Purple Crayon, because Harold and the Purple Crayon holds an A cinema score. Madam Web did not. Madam Web did not. And Madam Web, like, shot, that if something that is considered to be not as good is going to reach those heights, then something like Harold, which is much better in quality, is definitely going to hit those heights as well. So I have no doubt that this is a film that people are skipping on it in theaters for whatever reason, but they're going to discover it when it hits Netflix and when it hits streaming. And I think audiences will at that time embrace the film. And it's just a shame it's not going to see that success sooner, because it's quite entertaining. So that's a big recommend for me for Harold and the Purple Crayon. I mean, I'm a 48-year-old guy. My wife is 47 years old, and we thoroughly enjoyed this. So it's not just for the kids. If you have a sense of humor and just want to see something that is fun and delightful, this is a film for you. So there you go. Big recommend for Harold and the Purple Crayon. I dig it, man. All right. Thank you, and keep wearing those pajamas.
Keep wearing those pajamas
with the plastic feet.
Keep wearing those pajamas.
Tell everyone you meet.
Keep wearing those pajamas
with the back door flap.
Keep wearing those pajamas.
Don't open, it's a trap.
Oh no,
it's a trap. Some people call
call them PJs.
But people call them
jammies.
They can come embroidered with big money and no whammies. They can have 100 tiny commander pajamas. But no matter how they look, just keep on wearing those pajamas.
Keep wearing those pajamas.
I know we're having fun.
Keep wearing those pajamas.
And now the song is done.